नमस्ते Maria ji. आप कैसे हो?
मैं तो ठीक हूँ.
So as you can see, I'm here with very legendary Maria Wirth ji. I first came across Maria Wirth ji on Twitter and have been very influenced and very impressed with the work that she's doing on there. I'm sure many of you are aware she publishes many outstanding articles about Hinduism, her love for Hinduism, trying to help Hindus to regain their confidence and to question why it is that there are some forces acting against them. And ultimately we have in common that we are outsiders trying to make sense of this situation and trying to give our understanding, our perspectives. Maria ji very kindly invited us to come and meet her. So we're just having an informal conversation at the moment and allowing you some glimpses into that. So first, Maria ji, thank you so much again for allowing us into your house here in Devaraha. It's really beautiful. It's right in the lap of nature. Just in front of me, we have just forest of trees. So how long have you been staying in Devaraha?
Actually, it's not my house. I rented just 2 rooms in this house, and I'm very grateful to my landlord. He built such a beautiful place, and I can be here. I'm here already now since 17 years, and it's an ideal place to be quiet and to write. But still, I think your introduction was a little bit too good.
No, not at all.
No, I really feel my only contribution is that I tell what I think, what I feel is right. So then when sometimes people are so surprised or say, oh, thank you so much, I say, there's nothing special. Even when you called me and said you want to meet me, I say, actually, there's nothing special about me. I mean, why should you come actually to take the trouble? No? So in this way, I am really sometimes very much surprised. But my heart is very much for India. Your heart, I think, also, And there are so many foreigners actually who feel like us, because I meet many who don't understand anything about India. They take the yogas, they take even spirituality, but they don't like India as much. I was once in Rishikesh and somebody made comments about India, and I said, actually, what you want is you like India, but you would like India without Indians. And she said, actually, that is true. Oh. So I mean, we have also to see that there are different types of persons who come here, but when you go a little deeper into India, when you just see the surface, then it's not easy to discover the beauty. I mean, you had the chance through your husband that you got very much into it. Maybe you can tell also.
Absolutely, yes.
How you started to love India so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So I must admit, I think even the first time I stepped into Bharat, I just felt like a magic from the ground almost. And I think it was partly that it feels in India that everything is alive, like life is everywhere. And it made me realise that back home in the UK, life is quite grey. And it's not just like the colour of clothes people wear. People, when you go on the underground, everyone's wearing black and blue and grey. You come to India and everyone's wearing every colour that there is in the rainbow. And people celebrate life a lot more. In the UK, yes, people have parties and things, but they have parties to get drunk and to almost move away from life, I feel. Whereas here, they come and they celebrate life, and it just made me feel so alive. So I think I'm very grateful to India for making me feel like a new level of aliveness. And then obviously getting to know Hinduism, initially through my husband, but then on my own journey now, and getting to appreciate a new philosophy, a very deep, a very intellectual, a very stimulating philosophy. Again, it made me realise that the way I saw the world before, the way I saw my role in the world, my part of life. It was very superficial, I guess. Now it's a lot. I have a much deeper understanding of the world, of life, of purpose, and it really is very beautiful. But even now, it's still scratching the surface. I realise I have so many millions of miles of knowledge still to discover and learn, and that's really exciting. Whereas before, things were very black and white. I think when you come from a Christian philosophy, things are very black and white. In Hinduism, very little is black and white. Everything is a voyage of discovery. You know, when you realize one thing, it opens up a whole other world of other things to understand, and I just find that really magical. Yes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
When I'm in Germany, sometimes I feel it's really empty.
Empty, yes, that's a good way of putting it.
And the reason why they put India down so badly is, I feel, because they don't want people to know that Indians actually are far more better off, in the sense, what you say, life-wise, if I can say like this. And life is much more full.
Yes.
And they don't want us in the West to know this, because we have a very dreary life in a sense. No? The only enjoyment is you go to a restaurant, or you go maybe to a concert, or street festivals, but it's also superficial. And what is lacking is wisdom. And when you said just now you grow up in a Christian philosophy, I wouldn't call it even philosophy.
No, that's true.
It's a doctrine.
Yes.
It's a doctrine which has to be believed blindly. And we are so much herded into it like shepherds. I remember when I was in church as a child, on the Sundays before elections, there would be read the shepherd's letter. And the shepherd's letter means the bishop's letter. And they would tell us what to vote for. So not really the party by name, but they made it very clear which party, the Christian Democrats. So we are very used to being kind of herded in a way. And some of us break out. Some of us break out in a sense that we don't believe it anymore. But I feel sometimes what Christianity does is it spoils a belief into a higher power. We are so allergic against the word God even. We don't want God. Even when I came to India, if somebody talked to me about God, I felt like, please don't talk to me about God. And then I was in India, and right in the very beginning, I met a photographer, actually quite well-known photographer at that time, the Bedi brothers. And when I was introduced to them, and when I said goodbye, then one of them told me, and don't forget about God. So this was, how is it possible, at that time we were both young person, already quite successful, very Western oriented in a way, speak so matter-of-factly about God. Does he really exist? So at that time I wanted to find out. I have to find out what is meant by God. Of course it took me much time then because the mind is quite, in the Bhagavad Gita it says also, speedy like the wind. It's not so easy to focus on a question, but I wanted to know the truth. And this was guiding me very much. And I told you just before, in the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, I found a very interesting sentence. It was said in Satya Yuga, tapas is the best sadhana. And you read also in the Puranas and that people were doing 100 years of tapas, 1,000 years of tapas. So, and then it said in Kali Yuga, the best sadhana is telling the truth. So then I thought, if this is now sadhana, it's a very easy sadhana. So, and I think there's one thing which came very naturally to me, and it is speaking the truth. Even my mother told me that she was astonished when I was a child. Once she called me, I was playing with a neighbor's child, and she called me back for lunch. And then after lunch, she said, now you don't go back to play with my friend. And then she said, I was looking very thought, and she said, what is wrong? Why? And he said, but I have told her already I'm coming again. That means I have told a lie. So this stuck with her also, and this speaking truth is very important for me. So it comes rather easy, and sometimes people say, look, it's maybe dangerous even. Then I say, it can't be dangerous. I mean, speaking the truth must be allowed, no? So in this way, I what I write is not. Of course, I have now reached quite an age also, so I have more experience and I have read more than when you were 20. You couldn't have read as much as I have read now, and you wouldn't know as much maybe. But otherwise, my only contribution is that I speak the truth in this.